Hey guys, Shawn here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please take the time to hit the subscribe button down below. If you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. Also follow me on Instagram. That is at SHYLEENSHAWN. I would appreciate it if you followed me there as well. As you can see by the title today, I am doing a what sold on Mercari for January and February. For January, I'm not going to go super in depth because I really didn't have a lot of sales. It wasn't the best month on Mercari. But February, I will go in depth and tell you guys, you know, each item, how long it took to sell, all of that jazz. If you're new to my channel, hello, my name's Shyleen. I am 21. I will be 22 in May. I'm a Gemini. We're the best. No shade, but lots of shade. I have a fashion merchandising degree, and I resell on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And I'm a full-time reseller. I will be a year full-time reselling in May as well, so that's really exciting. But yeah, we can go ahead and get on into this video. If that sounds like something you're interested in, just keep on watching. So I have a love-hate relationship with Mercari. I feel like nobody really knows what they're doing over there. A lot of us are shooting into the darkness and just hoping things sell, and that's definitely okay, but it would be nice if I could recognize a pattern for sales or anything. So I'm gonna tell you guys the items I sold. Let me know down below if you notice any patterns with my sales, or if you notice any patterns with your own sales on Mercari, because if we can help each other, obviously that is the goal here. That is the point of this video, so maybe you guys can get an idea of what you should be cross-listing when you have time, and different things like that. Maybe it'll even make some of you guys want to list on Mercari in the first place, which would be great because I'm a big fan of being on more than one platform. So in January, my sales on Mercari and my sales in general were not the best. They were fairly decent. My boyfriend had a month off from work, so he was home, so I worked less. When you're home with your boyfriend all day, you kind of don't want to work, okay? I can say that, it's fine. But it was not the best, but I still did like $100 on Mercari, which is, I guess, worth it when you think about how little time I put into the app and into cross-listing and all of that. But in January, I had 9 sales on Mercari for a total of $99.40. January, my average sale price, really not sale price, this is the average price that I actually made from a sale. So this is after fees and after shipping discounts, but before my actual cost of goods was $11.04. And then in the month of January, I listed 113 new items to Poshmark, but I wasn't tracking how many items I was cross-listing to eBay and cross-listing to Mercari. For the most part, everything does get cross-listed, but there are some items that I just don't cross-list. If an item is like super flawed, I usually don't cross-list it to eBay just because I don't want to deal with a possible return, or, you know, eBay's return process makes me not really cross-list damaged items there in general. But you can assume I listed about 100 new items in January and I had 9 sales. Not the best, right? So my sales in January, I'm not gonna go through like each one and give you the whole picture and all of that for January, but for February I will. But I did sell a Team USA soccer scarf. If you watch my videos, you've probably seen a lot of these sales anyways. I sold a New It Tags American Eagle off the shoulder top, a Free People top, an H&M blazer, a Loft skirt, a Fossil belt, a Banana Republic blazer, a True Religion graphic t-shirt, and a Talbot's button down. The Talbot's button down was surprisingly the highest sale of the month. My take-home pay after that was $20.20, and I did have free shipping on that. The shipping was $3.20 that I got from pirateship.com. If you decide to do ship on your own, or you ship things through Instagram, definitely check out Pirate Ship. The shipping on there is very reasonable and cheap. But yeah, I made $20.20 after shipping, after fees, for that Talbot's button down, and that was my highest sale for the month, which is really shocking because it's just like a basic Talbot's button down. But I'm definitely happy that it sold for a high dollar amount, and that is why I love picking up Talbots. We have the belt, we have the skirt. I have noticed that I feel like I sell more belts on Mercari than any other platform. I don't know why, but it just so happens to be that way. And then once you see my February sales, I also feel like I've been selling a decent amount of blazers on Mercari as well. So that wraps up my January sales. 9 sales, average take-home pay of $11.04 from each sale, $99.40 in total for the month. And then we jump to February, and there is a $150.15 difference. I did list less items February, but for some reason there was a pickup, whether that was maybe I worked a little bit more. There's tax refunds, there's the fact that we came out of a government shutdown, there's a lot of different variables to take into consideration. But the fact that February did good and I got $250 out of Mercari is fine with me, definitely fine with me, because I really don't expect to make more than a couple of $100s on Mercari any month anyways, just because I feel like, I don't know, it's just not there with her like it is with Poshmark and eBay, and that's fine. Of course, all of these apps, well, I feel like eBay, I mean, eBay probably is technically still growing, but they're past their growing phase. But, you know, Mercari and Poshmark are still very much growing, so hopefully sales just continue to get better. I've been on Mercari since last summer. We're going on a tangent now, though. I'm going to get into my February sales for Mercari. So for February, I had 11 sales. So you might be thinking to yourself, you had 9 sales in January and 11 in February. That is an $150 difference. That is the gap between pretty much my average sales price and just, you know, the fact that I was selling higher priced items in February. I sold mainly outerwear in February. Coats and blazers are definitely like the top categories. So for February, I did $249.55. That is after fees and after any shipping discounts. I did recently make the business decision to no longer offer free shipping on Mercari. So I do charge shipping, and of course we all know that their shipping prices did go up. Unfortunately, that's just something that happens as the years go by. And the way I decided to deal with that is the fact that I charge shipping now. But yeah, so I listed 83 new items to Mercari in February. I also started tracking, like, so before I was just tracking how many new listings I got up to Poshmark each day. I wasn't tracking how many items I was listing on other platforms each day, but now I am. I started doing that in February. So I listed 83 new items to Mercari in February, and I had an average take-home pay of $22.68, which is actually pretty good from each sale. I am definitely happy with the average take-home of $22.68. That's something I can get down with. I hope it continues into March, but we can go ahead and hop into each sale. So I have my computer over here, and I'm just scrolling through my February spreadsheet. Lots of Poshmark and eBay sales. Like I said, I only had 11 sales on Mercari for the month of February, but I did do $250, so I think that's great for only shipping out 11 items. The first sale for Mercari didn't come until February 10th, and that was a Calvin Klein black double-breasted matrix trench coat. I think I showed this in a ship with me. You guys may see some repeats, but it was a Calvin Klein black double-breasted matrix trench coat. I paid $12 for that coat. It took 11 weeks to sell. My earnings were $28, so I made a profit of $16, and I paid the shipping on that, which was $8 using their label. When their label was $8, it is now $11. The next Mercari sale was that same day, and it was a vintage Chadwick's cream teddy bear coat. I paid $9.60 for that coat. It took 5 weeks to sell on Mercari, and my earnings, when I say earnings, that is after fees and any shipping discounts, is $24.40. The next item that I sold on Mercari was 6 days later. Mercari is definitely not like a everyday hitter, not for me at least. But it was a week later, 6 days later, and it was a vintage Jones New York mustard cropped blazer. So we had 2 vintage sales back to back and 3 outerwear, like layering piece sales back to back. I paid 80 cents for that blazer. I really don't like paying too much for vintage items just because the market is tricky. It's not a market that I am in too much. I don't really know what I'm doing when I pick up these vintage items, but it was a really nice blazer. I thought the cropped look was really cute. I love the silhouette of it, and then the color. So I figured why not for 80 cents. That sold in a week on Mercari for best offer. So yeah, I guess I can tell you guys if these sold on best offer, or because I track all of that as well. My spreadsheet's very in depth, but I don't do much with the data after I know it, if that makes sense. It just kind of gets copy and pasted into a new spreadsheet. But the vintage Jones New York mustard crop blazer sold on best offer in a week, and my earnings were $17.10. Moving on after that sale, the next sale was 2 days later, and it was a Banana Republic blue like faux denim blazer. It sold on best offer. I paid 80 cents for that blazer as well. It sold in 2 weeks, and my earnings were $15.30. I had a sale the next day, the 19th of February, and that was my Barefoot Dreams cream cardigan. So I have 2 of those. Not that exact cardigan, but I got 2 Barefoot Dreams cardigans at the same time. That one sold in 2 weeks on Mercari for best offer, and my earnings, or no, not 2 weeks, sorry, I was looking at the Banana Republic blazer. It sold in under a week on Mercari, and my earnings were $40.50, and my profit was $30.50. So yeah, I paid $10 for that cardigan. You can also see that I am not afraid to pay a little bit of money for things. There are not a lot of things I want to pay up for, but the Barefoot Dreams cardigan, that's a new with tax cardigan that retails for around $100. I don't mind paying 10 bucks for it. The vintage crop blazer, 80 cents, great for me. It's a vintage blazer. I felt like realistically it was going to sell between 15 to 25, so 80 cents was fine with me. The Calvin Klein coat, really nice coat. I didn't think it was going to sit for as long as it did. I thought it was going to sell really quick, like within a couple of weeks, but $12 personally kind of high. I don't think today I would spend $12 on a Calvin Klein coat like that, mainly because now I know that it might take a little long to sell, but that one's a little bit high. And then the vintage Chadwick's coat I paid $9.60 for. I mainly paid $9.60 for that because teddy bear coats were really on trend. And I sold another one. Sorry, I have a burp in me. Oh, that's going to be fun to edit back and hear my voice crack. So I bought that other teddy coat for $9.60 because I had sold another one very quickly for a good amount of money. So once you start selling things, you start knowing when something is too high to purchase, to flip. You start having a mental catalog of items you've sold before, brands you've sold before, different styles you've sold before, and yeah, that was my tangent for that. The next item that I sold on Mercari after the Barefoot Dreams cardigan was a Ava and Viv red floral off the shoulder dress. I purchased 2 of these. The 2X, I believe, was the other size I had. That one sold way faster than this one. This one's a 4X. So once you start getting to the opposite sides of the spectrum, you start getting into your 4, your 5, your 6Xs, or you start getting into your 00 petites. Sometimes it's hard to get those customers because they're the very opposite sides of the spectrum as far as size goes. So that dress took 31 weeks to sell on Mercari. That's a really long time. It's been listed since last July. That's not how long I want to have something. It was an Ava and Viv red floral off the shoulder dress. That's a Target brand. I paid $3.50 for it. My earnings were $11.70 and my profit was $8.20. I sold another plus size dress that day. It was an Ishakti blue floral fit and flare dress. And both of those dresses actually sold on offer to likers on Mercari. That's definitely something I've been testing out more. And my earnings from the Ishakti dress were $14.50, and that took 6 weeks to sell. So we have a few sales left. The next one is a belt bundle, and it was a New It Tags brown stretchy belt from TJ Maxx, a waist belt, and a leather Cherokee belt. I paid $1.81 in total for the 2 of those, and my earnings were $13.75, so my profit was $11.94. Completely fine with that. The next sale I had that same day on Mercari sold on best offer, and it was a Trina Turk pink and purple tweed belted sheath dress, and my earnings from that were $39.85, and it took 6 weeks to sell. Not mad at that at all. And then we have 2 more sales from Mercari. The first one is a cachet striped Baroque print romper that sold on offer to likers. Like I said, I've been trying to utilize that more on Mercari, and my earnings were $20.95 for that, and my profit was $17.47. Not mad at that at all. And that romper had actually sat for 24 weeks, so I was also ready to get rid of it. And then the last sale that I have on Mercari is sold on offer to likers, and it was a Ann Taylor brown single button blazer. I paid 80 cents for the blazer. It took a month to sell, 4 weeks. My earnings were $23.50 and my profit was $22.70. So yeah, those were all of my sales from Mercari for the month of February. I had 11 of them. Definitely seen quite a few of those sold on offer to likers. On Mercari, I feel like it's not a place where the sales just come to you. Like, they definitely happen out of the blue, but sometimes you actually have to chase them. So using offer to likers, you can definitely get more sales. Offering free shipping, you can get more sales. I no longer personally do that. I've been noticing that my belts have been selling faster on Mercari, as well as my blazers have been moving at a decent pace over there. But yeah, those are my sales from January and February. Some tips sprinkled in. I hope you got something from this video, or maybe learned something. Maybe list your first item over on the good old app Mercari and see what you can do over there. Definitely let me know if you've noticed any trends with your sales over there, if there's anything that you're doing to boost your sales. I am definitely thinking about relisting. I don't know about all, because I really do have a lot of Mercari listings, but maybe all. I could definitely take a day and just dedicate it to that. But I really do want to relist a lot of my Mercari closet, because I feel like items just get stale over there and then they're just off by the wayside, never to be found or purchased by anyone. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you liked this video. Let me know all of those things I said right before this down below. Follow me on Instagram if you do not. That is at SHYLEENSHAWN. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.